Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. President Biden launches his first attack on foreign soil since taking office. What Pentagon officials say about their target. Plus, goodbye governor calls are growing stronger across the state to recall Governor Gavin Newsom. What petitioners are saying about the number of signatures they've collected and how close they are to forcing a recall election. And a Bakersfield baby boom. It's been more than 9 months since coronavirus pushed us to stay home, and now local hospitals are saying they're breaking records. Today is Friday, February 26, 2021. And good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nicole Gitsky in for Maddie Jansen. Alex Fisher is holding down things at the studio. Right, Alex?
Hi, Nicole. Good morning. Guess what? We've made it through another work week. It is finally Friday. That's right. Give a little air pump there, Nicole. It's going to be a great weekend, too, as we turn things over to Kevin Charette, who has a look at our forecast, because we've had a lot of great weather over the last couple of days. Kev?
Yeah, the trees are starting to show their blooms. That's why I wore this shirt. So I see the blooms on my shirt. And it is Friday. It is going to be a great weekend, so I hope everybody will get out and enjoy this spring-like weather with temperatures in the upper 60s. Right now, Kern County has no clouds to talk about, and that's the way we're going to keep it heading into the weekend, as you can see here on our satellite radar. In Bakersfield, we've got temperatures in the 40s, 42 degrees right now under a calm wind and hour by hour. You can see throughout the day, temperatures will be back into those mid to upper 60s. And then for the mountains, we are going to be looking at kind of a breezy day out there. It is a cold start, 25 degrees, 19 on the dew point, humidity at 80%, calm winds right now. But I do expect those winds to pick up, and you can see on the wind profile, not a problem at this point, but they are going to pick up this afternoon into our weekend. You can see temperatures by 9 a.m. will be in the upper 40s and then 50s as we go throughout the afternoon. I'll have much more on your weekend weather. That's coming up in just a little bit. For now, we'll send it back over to you.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. President Biden has launched what we believe to be his first attack on foreign soil since taking office. Tracy Potts has the latest developments on a U.S. airstrike in Syria, the president's trip to Texas later today, and today's vote on the COVID relief bill that includes $1,400 stimulus payments.
Alex, good morning. Good morning, everyone. The president and the first lady set to pack up food and water at a food bank today in Texas for those families still struggling down there. And he's keeping his eye on the Middle East, where the U.S. took military action in the last 24 hours to eliminate a threat.
Instead of chasing COVID-19.
In his first known show of military muscle, President Biden ordered airstrikes in Syria, targeting militants backed by Iran.
We're confident in the target that we went after. We know what we hit.
It's payback for an attack in Iraq that killed a contractor and injured one of our troops.
I think it was a good move. It was a signal. Back off if you want to reopen negotiations on a nuclear accord.
The move comes as Biden heads to Houston today.
To make sure the people of Texas know we're thinking about them, we're fighting for them.
Families are still suffering from winter storm damage with enormous electric bills and no water.
So I go to the pool, fill up a bucket of water, and do that 2 or 3 times a day.
While there, the president will visit a health center delivering COVID vaccines after announcing the U.S. is halfway to his goal of 100 million shots in 100 days.
The more people get vaccinated, the faster we're going to beat this pandemic.
The administration now focusing on getting more shots to local pharmacies and underserved communities. Today, the House votes on a relief package that includes a $15 minimum wage.
It's long overdue, and it will be phased in.
But the Senate parliamentarian has ruled the wage increase cannot be included.
The minimum wage doesn't belong in there.
Setting up a showdown to approve billions for families, small businesses, and schools by mid-March. The White House says the president's disappointed but respects the process, and he'll work with lawmakers to try to get that minimum wage in some other way. I'm Tracy Potts, 17 News.
A grim update yesterday on the coronavirus in Kern County. Local deaths from the virus now topping the 800 mark, with public health reporting 25 additional lives lost. It's important to note that those deaths occurred in January. December remains our deadliest month with 208 COVID-related deaths. This morning, Kern's death toll from the pandemic stands at 811. Kern Public Health also reported 295 new cases yesterday. More than 8,500 people are recovering at home with the virus. And according to state health data, 168 people are in the hospital. 49 are in the ICU.
A trio of new COVID-19 vaccination clinics are now open in Arvin, Wasco, and Rosemont. The new clinics are part of a recent expansion to provide more shots to people in rural areas in Kern County. Right now, they're offering vaccinations through Saturday. Starting next week, the sites will be open as followed. In Arvin, Wednesday through Sunday, Rosemont Tuesday through Saturday, and Wasco Wednesday through Sunday. All sites will be open between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. And people of McFarland, if you're eligible to get the vaccine, you can get your shot next week. The McFarland Unified School District and Adventist Health teamed up to host a free vaccine clinic on Tuesday at the McFarland Junior High School cafeteria. Call the number on your screen, that's 637-8768, to schedule your appointment. And all eligible groups in Kern County can sign up for a vaccine appointment using the state's website. That includes anyone 65 years or older. Healthcare workers and first responders also remain eligible for the vaccine, and teachers, childcare workers, those in emergency services, and people who work in the food industry can now get in line for the shot. You can sign up for an appointment at myturn.ca.gov to register for the vaccine. You can also call 833-422-4255.
New this morning, the FDA will allow the Pfizer Biotech coronavirus vaccine to be stored at standard freezer temperatures. The FDA says it will allow undiluted frozen vials of the vaccine to be transported and stored at temperatures that are common for pharmaceutical freezers and refrigerators for up to 2 weeks. The FDA says the alternative temperatures will help ease the burden on procuring the ultra-low cold storage equipment that it previously needed, and should help to get vaccines to more sites. The vaccine had previously been required to be stored at ultra-cold temperatures between negative 112 degrees Fahrenheit to negative 76 degrees Fahrenheit. Meantime, a big day on the horizon in the fight against coronavirus as the FDA is expected to approve the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The FDA endorsed the single-shot vaccine for emergency use on Wednesday. An independent panel of advisors will discuss the approval later today. And while the FDA doesn't have to follow the advisory committee's recommendation, it often does. Johnson & Johnson expects to provide 20 million shots by the end of March. And over the summer, they will produce an additional 100 million doses. This as worries grow that a new strain of coronavirus may be spreading rapidly in New York City. That's according to 2 studies that have not yet been peer-reviewed nor published in a medical journal. One study is from Columbia University, which says the variant has been steadily increasing since it was first detected in samples collected back in November. The second study is from Caltech University, where the researchers developed a software tool that detected the mutation, which they say has increased rapidly in the city. Here at home, rumors of a suspected baby boom were all at the rage at the beginning of the pandemic. But did we actually see one? 17's Ileana Capian is outside Memorial Hospital this morning with more. Good morning, Ileana.
Good Friday morning, everyone. We are more than 9 months out from the start of the pandemic, so I spoke to the nursing director for the maternal child ward here at Memorial Hospital to find out if we had a baby boom. And to be quite honest, she said, yes, we have seen the baby boom, but not only that, they are breaking records every day. This is Savannah Lilly, 3 weeks old. No idea about the pandemic going on around her.
I'm sure when she gets older, we'll tell her all about how she was born during this pandemic.
Savannah was one of the many babies born during the COVID-19 pandemic.
She is a COVID baby, yeah. She was created during the whole pandemic. We did not stay 6 feet apart.
One local hospital said the anticipated pandemic baby boom is here.
We did start seeing a baby boom here at Memorial Hospital. We've had more than 300 deliveries each month, and it's been more than we have seen in the past decade.
Nationally, the birth rate has decreased by 1% annually since 2014. But according to the Kern County Department of Public Health, they saw a spike in new births in December of 2020 with 1,036 new babies. These numbers include residents who were born out of the county, but excludes those who live out of the county and were born in Kern hospitals. In the past 11 months, Memorial Hospital has delivered almost 3,400 babies.
It was surprising that December was so busy. And when you think back 9 months, yeah, it makes sense. So to do over 300 deliveries in December is not normal. Also in January, we did over 300 again, not our norm. So just every month we're breaking records.
Memorial Hospital allows one support person into the hospital with the expectant mother. At the time Jenkins was delivering baby Savannah, her hospital did not allow a support partner to stay with her after the baby was delivered. As a new mom and NICU nurse herself, Jenkins understood the precautions and offers this advice.
Have an open mind and be considerate and courteous to the staff. A lot of it is out of their hands, just like it was out of my hands, just like I couldn't get any special privileges, you know. We didn't make the rules. We're just trying to keep everyone safe and healthy, mom, baby, and, you know, supporting family.
We know that we're needed more. So to be there for them, it's very important, and my nurses have stepped up to that challenge.
And Memorial Hospital says not only do they expect the baby boom to continue, but they expect another one as long as people are having to stay at home and be together more. In Bakersfield, Ileana Capellan, 17 News.
Making headlines around the nation this morning, a former U.S. gymnastics coach charged with some 24 felonies has died by suicide. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel confirmed the death of John Gettert. Gettert was charged with sexual assault, human trafficking, and running a criminal enterprise. He was head coach of the 2012 U.S. Women's Olympic Gymnastics team, which won a gold medal. Gettert's body was located by Michigan State troopers at a rest area on Interstate 96 in Clinton County Thursday afternoon, just hours after it was announced he was facing 24 felony charges. And an update in Tiger Woods' road to recovery. The golf star moved to a different hospital yesterday following that dramatic rollover crash. The 45-year-old was transferred to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. Woods has been at Harbor UCLA following the crash. That's where he underwent emergency surgery. Doctors inserted a rod into his right leg, and pins and screws were used to stabilize his foot and ankle. The LA County Sheriff's Office said earlier this week that there was no evidence that Woods was impaired at the time of the crash. The incident is being considered as an accident. And Lady Gaga's dog walker was shot and her 2 French bulldogs were stolen Wednesday night in Hollywood. Officials say the man was walking the dogs shortly before 10 p.m. when they say a man with a semi-automatic handgun shot the dog walker and took the dogs. The dog walker is hospitalized in stable condition. Gaga is offering a $500,000 reward to anyone who returns her dogs named Koji and Gustav. An investigation is now underway.
Chilling video out of Oakland this morning that shows an Asian American woman clinging to her purse as a thief jumps into a getaway car and drags her along for the ride. Take a look at this. It happened on Wednesday and was captured by surveillance video. According to witnesses, the woman just walked out of a store when the robber tried to grab her purse. The woman had her purse crossed around her neck and shoulder and got dragged 150 feet by the suspect's car. The woman's husband said she is okay, but still shaken up, as you can imagine. The search continues for the suspects. It's the latest in a series of high-profile attacks on Asians in both Oakland and San Francisco.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Now more than ever, internet access can be a lifeline, but there are still parts of the country that aren't up to speed. Liz McLaughlin reports on what is being done to close the digital divide.
Across the country, millions of Americans lack reliable internet access.
Disconnect and let's try it again.
Or struggle to afford it.
It is a decision that some families have to make, unfortunately, deciding between like that connectivity or something like, paying their electricity bill.
Life without connectivity comes with severe consequences during a pandemic as work, education, and healthcare increasingly move online.
Not having access to the internet and not having access to an advocate who can spend all that time on the internet for you can be a life or death situation.
Such as access to the COVID-19 vaccine, with many distribution programs relying on web portals for sign-ups and appointments.
Broadband is no longer nice to have, it's need to have.
The FCC is working to give subsidies to families that can't afford internet service and expand access for those that don't have it. But often finding those gaps is an issue.
The problem is in the U.S., there are a lot of people without internet, but the maps that we have aren't granular enough to actually pinpoint where these people are.
An entire census block could be considered served, even if only one household has access.
The good news is they are trying to get more information. The bad news is we're probably not going to get more detailed maps until at least next year.
A waiting game for those Americans left behind in the digital age. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.